Hi everyone, I'm Faye, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a makeup haul, first impressions, try on, get ready with me. Quite a long one I think this one's going to be, so grab yourself a cup of tea, a little snack, or grab your makeup and actually do get ready with me as we try on a whole host of new products. Let's jump right in. I usually do all my face makeup first and then my eyes. But today we're using something with glitter, so I'm going to do the eyes first. Now, I have two cream and glitter shadows from SOL. They are the Metallist Liquid Foil and Glitter Shadow Duo. So this shade here, the sort of taupey shade, is number 5. And you can see, ooh, this is the first time I'm swatching it. It's a cream shadow. It's more, it's deeper than I thought. I thought it was going to be a little lighter than that, but it's a lovely colour, quite intense. And then on the other side, what do we have? We have, a plastic spatula on this side and glitter, which can be patted over the top of the cream. Now, I have a feeling this is going to be messy, which is why I'm doing my eye makeup first. The glitter and the base don't really match, they're not the same colour, which I expected them to be, but it's still pretty. And then there's the shade I'm going to use today. What shade is this one? Number 1. Swatch it first. This is a lovely copper. A little bit more sheer than the other one, needs a bit more building up. And then on the other hand we again have a loose glitter, little plastic spatula, which you can pat the glitter on over the top. See if I can blend that with my finger. Okay, it dries down completely, that's completely dried. I have a feeling it might crumble a bit during the day and fall all over me, but you know, we'll see. Just wipe this off my hand. Oh, okay, well, it dries down quite quickly. I'll have to wash my hand in a bit. So what I'm going to do first is take this concealer. Now, I have finally got the Tarte Shape tape. Everyone on YouTube has been talking about this for the longest time. So I thought I would get it too. Ooh, that is big doe foot applicator. It looks massive. I'm going to use this as, wow, a lot came off there, as a bit of eyelid primer. And just to cancel out any veininess, any discoloration, and get a nice smooth base for the shadow. So I'm going to blend this out here with a little mini beauty blender. I really like these sponges. They're so handy. I already have on all my skincare and sun cream, but I'll probably need to wipe and reapply once I've done these eyes. Okay, I should set that down. Where's my powder? I have a new powder. Well, I have a new everything pretty much. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. It is the Rimmel Insta matte. Now I had given this a little swatch before. Ooh, got glitter all over my fingers. It's quite white looking, but hopefully, okay there, if I rub it out a bit, it's not white anymore. But it's definitely matte and it's sort of velvety, very smooth, so I have high hopes for this. So I'm just going to go in with a little brush and just set down, oh, glitter. Set down this base. It's going to cover the entire lid in this, and hopefully it's not patchy. Looking a little patchy from where I am. But I think that's because I'm trying to apply more over the top and it's going a bit sort of chunky because it's trying to dry. So I'm going to stop trying to build it up because it's not, I don't think that's going to work. Okay, right, it looks okay, we'll go with it as it is. Before it dries, I'm going to add the glitter. Oh, this is going to be messy. This is going to be so messy. Oh, glitter everywhere. There's literally glitter falling all over me. Oh my god. Okay, it's pretty, but it is a liability, my god. Let's go in with a finger and try and tap, like, oh my god, there's glitter everywhere. And this is why I decided to do the eyes first. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, look, there's literally, it's all over the place. But we can fix that later. Have a feeling this might crumble later in the day. Ooh. Yeah, I feel, yeah, okay, we'll have to see. So with this one, if I try not building it up quite so much, don't put so much of the base product on, maybe it'll go better. Glitter. Oh. This is going to be a video of me making funny noises. By the way, I will put all the product prices below in the description box so that you can see how much they are, and I will also put some links for where to buy them. Okay, I think this eye went better. It's not quite as chunky and thick as this eye. Right, oh my goodness, I'm so glittery. These trousers are going to have to go straight in the wash. Right, I knew I should have worn a dressing gown. That was pretty hard to actually get off from under my eyes. Hopefully that means it's going to stay on the lids. Okay, moving on to the face. I've reapplied my moisturiser, my sun cream, and we're going to move on to primer. Now, I have this one from a brand called Ottie or Ottie. Whoop, dropped it. I've not heard of this brand before. It says natural as nature. So, is it a natural product? I don't know. It doesn't have a list of ingredients that I can see on the bottle. This is a purple base, which is to counteract yellow and sallow tones. It says real skin makeup base. Let's try it out. Let's see. Oh, it's quite thick. Wasn't expecting it to be quite that thick. Let's blend it on and see what happens. I feel like this is going to make me look white. Yeah. Right, now that I look really weird, let's move on to foundation. Now I've got a new foundation, obviously, because it's a first impressions. I've swatched this before, but I haven't used it on my face. This is the Tight Shot Creamy Foundation from a brand called Rue Kwave. You can see here at the bottom. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's another Korean brand. It says Natural Beauty, Soul Chic. Soul not as in the soul in your body, but the place. So yeah, let's have a go at this. Pump some out. Oh, again, it's quite thick. Woo. And it's quite yellow. This is the shade 21. Let's dab this on the face. It's definitely creamy. Not sure how full coverage this foundation is meant to be. Like, it feels quite thick, but then when you spread it, it doesn't seem to be particularly big on coverage. Grab my beauty blender, trusty beauty blender, slightly stained, but you know, we'll live with that. Yeah, although this is quite thick in texture, it's not very full coverage. It's kind of the opposite of the ordinary foundation I just did a review on, because that had a very thin texture, but it was quite pigmented and gave quite good coverage. So this feels hydrating. Definitely feels like a product for dry skin like mine rather than for oily skin. Definitely going to be adding coverage with the Tarte Shape tape. So I don't have to worry too much about the coverage around sort of the middle of my face where I'm going to put concealer. So let's just try and add a bit out here. I get redness sort of in this area, so I like to try and build up coverage there. Right, let's just blend down the neck. Okay, so first impressions of that foundation are it's a everyday foundation for drier skins. That's what I'm getting as a first impression. This would probably be really nice for me in winter when we use loads of central heating and it kind of dries the air out and makes my skin even drier than it already is. So far, okay. Not as much coverage as I was expecting, but I'm okay with that. So now to the Tarte Shape tape. Right, do use it to prime my eyes earlier. Now I'm going to do the other areas. Ooh. I just dripped concealer on myself. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those days where I just drop everything and make a complete mess. I mean, I'm already covered in glitter. Now, oh, a lot comes off this wand. It's hard to apply just a bit because so much is coming off with the wand. But I'm just trying to not apply too much because I know from watching other people's videos that this goes a long way. Right, where should we start? Let's start with the forehead. Wow, that has definitely got coverage. Whew. I have a yellow undertone, but sometimes things that are yellow tone can look a bit too orange. So yellow to neutral, warm to neutral, that's kind of my area. Okay, under the eyes. Dries quite quickly, like, because I've left it under the eye here. Kind of, it's a bit more difficult to blend out than it was on the forehead when I just sort of applied it and then blended it almost straight away. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more, just to those dark areas under the eyes. Okay, yeah, it definitely blends better if you put it on and then go in with the sponge reasonably quickly. Do a little bit of redness concealing around the nose. So even though that foundation and that primer were quite thick, I don't feel like I'm caked in product. Like, it feels okay. So that's good. And yeah, definitely agree with the rest of the world that this is a very good concealer. That was very easy to use, gave nice coverage, it's good colour. 2 thumbs up. Now I have my concealer on, I'm going to continue on to my other cream products. I have these from Gosh, the Lumi drops. This is shade 010 Coral Blush. So it's a liquid blush, which I'm going to apply with my beauty blender. Let's have a squeeze. Ooh. Ooh, okay, so it's a bit more liquidy than I was expecting. What I like to do with cream blush is just pat it out into a circle on my hand. That way, when I dab in my beauty blender, I get a nice dispersed product on the bottom of the sponge rather than one dot, because that can be difficult if you're trying to apply cream blush and you've got one dot in the middle of your sponge. It can go a bit blotchy and patchy. Cream blush can sometimes be a little intimidating because some formulas are quite pigmented. But this one, I'm really liking this one. It's got a very, very liquidy, almost sort of, not watery, but very, very liquidy texture. And it's not really pigmented. It's a nice flush that can be built up. And it's got a lovely sheen to it. And you can see here on my hand where I've spread the product out, probably easier than on my face, but it's got a really, really nice subtle glow to it. I'm actually going to add more glow, because who doesn't like highlighted, you know, gorgeous glowing sort of summer skin? So what I've got here, I've swatched it but not applied it to my face yet. It's one of the new Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops. This is the shade Blossom. Now I have a couple of the original formula drops and they're very pigmented. They dry quite quickly and they can be very difficult to blend. I find they go a bit patchy when I try and use a sponge, but I've heard good things about this one. So I'm going to add this on top as a blush topper. Alright. Oh, there we go. It's a very pretty, pretty pink. It's quite liquidy. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to blend this out into a sort of more circular area with my finger. Then I'm going to go in with the sponge and pop this over the blush. Ooh, that's pretty. Other side. Okay, this formula is much easier to blend than the other ones. Right, I'm going to take this up onto the brow. I like a little bit of flush here on the forehead, so I feel it makes the makeup look a bit more natural if there's sort of a slight pinkiness just coming through a little bit. Right, now that that's on, even more highlighter because I have more Gosh Lumi drops. I have this one in 002 Vanilla. So instead of a blush, this one is a highlight. Same kind of texture as the coral one. Sort of smooth that out. Oh, it's pretty. Again, quite liquidy. I feel like this is going to be quite a subtle highlight. I'm going to dab the side of my sponge in and then pop this on top. Yes, it's a very pretty, natural daytime kind of highlight. Neutral, not too intense, but you can definitely see it. It's not the kind of highlight that you put on and then you think, where did it go? I'm now done with cream products, so I'm going to move on to powder. Like I showed you before, I set my eyelids with it. It's the Rimmel Insta Fix and Matte. What's the Rimmel powder? The Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I used a lot when I was younger, and it was incredibly popular and very good product. So I have high hopes for this one. We get a powder brush. I have this large guy, the, what is it? Point XL from Real Techniques. And I'm going to take some of this and set the forehead here. Definitely makes it matte. I'm going to avoid the highlighted areas because I don't want to kill that glow. I love this brush. It's so soft. It's so soft. It wasn't cheap, but there are definitely more expensive brushes out there that are not as good. And I think this is worth the money. I'll put the prices of everything I use in the description box so you can check it out. A bit more. I'm setting where I'm going to put bronzer so the bronzer doesn't skip or go patchy. And I'm going to take a smaller brush to do under the eyes. First I'm just going to take a sponge, make sure there's no creases. This is another Real Techniques brush. I don't know if this powder is going to give flashback or not. I'll have to take a photo a bit later and tell you if it gives me a big white patch under my eyes. Hopefully not. Just set around the nose. Just make sure the nose is completely set so that nothing slips later in the day. Okay. So far so good. This is kind of very soft. Yeah, definitely matte. Almost like kind of velvety feeling when you touch the skin. Hopefully this is going to turn out to be a good product. Okay, moving on to bronzer. I have this little duo from Tarte that I got on sale and I haven't used yet. It's quite cute, the little packaging. The bronzer is in this little flip guy with a magnetic closure. And then I've also got this highlight, which is a bit dark, I think, potentially for me. I'm going to try it on the nose area. Oh my god, it smells like cake. It smells like vanilla. I want to eat it. Oh, now I feel hungry. I'm going to have to eat something after this video. Right, so for now I'm going to use the bronzer. I have a feeling this might be a bit dark and a bit warm for me. You can see that might be a bit dark, but we'll give it a light hand and see what happens. Another Real Techniques brush. It's going to pat all around in the product. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to brush off some of the product in my hand. This is like an alternative to tapping the brush. This removes more product than tapping, so it's good when something's highly pigmented or you're not quite sure what it's going to turn out to be, like, you know, this in the first impressions, you're not quite sure. So I think I have to be quite gentle with this product. I don't want to be orange. I want to have a little bit of warmth to my complexion, but I don't want to have a weird orange stripe down my face. Right, the other side. Again, tap all around in the product. I'm going to tap it in my hand to get off any excess. Again, just go in this area here. Onto the forehead and the brow bone. The cheek, and then I'm going to draw it under the chin. Hopefully those two sides are even. I can't really see in my mirror. Need a better mirror. And I'm going to add a little bit to the nose. Just to give it that sort of bronzed, I've been in the sun kind of look. And draw the bronzer down my neck a little. Just to make sure everything is blended in. So far so good. I think, yeah, gentle hand with this one. If you're fair like me, it's probably a bit dark, but it smells good. And, you know, it didn't skip, it applied nicely. So far so good. I don't know about waterproof. Hopefully I won't get caught in the rain later, but if I do, it will seriously test this. Highlight. So I'm going to take this one down the nose because it's a little bit dark, I think, for my cheeks. I'm going to take a fan brush and just draw this into the product here. Tap. And then give it a little flick down the nose. Just something not too over the top. A bit more to put it on the brow. Oh, it's pretty. I like this. I thought it was going to be way too dark. If you have a deeper olive skin tone, this is probably going to be gorgeous. For me, I think it's okay down the centre of the face, but I probably wouldn't use it on the cheekbones. The second highlighter I'm going to be trying out today is from The Body Shop. It is their Brush on Radiance Pearls. So you can see there's lots of little balls in the tub here. If we open it up, oh, there's a big piece of sponge to stop them all rattling around. And then inside you've got pink balls, slightly lighter pink balls, and a golden yellow. If you can see, I'm trying not to tip them out of the pan here. It's a cute idea. I'm not sure how much difference it makes. Like, you could just swirl these colours around in a pressed form maybe, and that would still work and be a bit more convenient, because, you know, I wouldn't want to travel with these. Also, I'm really clumsy, so I'm worried I'm going to break them, spill them everywhere. But let's see what it looks like on the face. Ooh, pretty. It's not a beaming highlight, it's quite subtle. But I'd kind of expect that from The Body Shop, really. They're more into the natural kinds of makeup. Let's add a bit more. Still definitely pretty though, I do like it, but I am worried that at some point in my life I'm going to spill these little balls everywhere and then have a massive clean-up job to do, just because that would just be the kind of thing that would be typical of me to do. I'm such a klutz. I have so many bruises, it's ridiculous. I just walk into things all the time. Okay, we'll stop there. I could carry on forever, but we'll stop there. I have a new setting spray to try. It is also by Rimmel. It is the Insta Fix and Go, so it matches the powder. This is the Fix and Matte, this is the Fix and Go. I'm hoping this is a nice spray. Sometimes with cheap setting sprays, the mister isn't that great, but let's see. Ooh, ooh, I like it. Don't open your mouth though. Okay, this has a nice mister. Like, I was expecting this to be more spritzy, you know, but it was nice, and it smells like cucumber. Does it have cucumber in it? Yes, it does have cucumber in it. That's why it smells of cucumber. But I actually really like that. Let's fan my face. I'm back. I didn't have any new brow products or mascara to try, so I've popped those on off screen. I will put in the description box below what product I used. So now it's just lips. I have a couple of products. Just lost my camera. I have a couple of products to try. I have a lip liner from Gosh in the shade 002 Antique Rose, and I have Pink Blink shade 200, the Stay Matte liquid lip colour from Rimmel. So lip liner first, then lipstick. I like this lip liner. It's very creamy, it's very easy to put on, and according to this, it is waterproof. So we'll see how it lasts throughout the day. Due to camera issues, this is now a different day, but I've used all the same products. Let's try the Rimmel Stay Matte Lip Colour. Now, I'm applying this over the lip liner. It's almost the same colour, not quite. The wand is quite straight, not curved like a lot of doe foot applicators. Now I'm popping this on, and it is not completely opaque. I'm having to go over it a second time because, you know, it's a little bit patchy. Nothing terrible. It doesn't look bad. In the future, I'd probably apply lip liner all over my lips instead of just around the outside. Just so that the colour is opaque and I don't have to keep going over to try and build it up. because sometimes if you have to build it up, that has consequences. You've got more product on your lips, it can bunch up, it can like go a bit cracked, it can crumble off. But for now, it looks nice, I like it. We'll see how it goes throughout the day. It's the end of the day and I'm here to sum up what I think of these products. So I'm going to start with the top, the things that I absolutely love, work my way down to the things that I didn't think were that great. So number one has got to be the Gosh Lumi drops. They give natural, sort of everyday type of blushed and highlighted skin. It's not something that's over the top, it's not something that's for a night out, but it is a gorgeous everyday type of look. And they're so easy to blend, so easy to apply. They're great if you're not used to working with cream products. If you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend these. I've actually just ordered another 3 shades because I love the ones I used so much. The only thing I would say is that if you have deeper skin tone, because these are not that pigmented, which is great for beginners, but because they're not that pigmented, they're not going to show up particularly well on deeper skin. But if you're pale like me, go for it, you won't regret it. Number 2, the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in Blossom. Another product that I absolutely loved. Now, the formula is different from the old ones and I definitely prefer this formula. I'd have to say that they are a little pricey. They're definitely a little pricey, but if you're looking to treat yourself, they're a lovely product. I feel like you get a good quantity of product, so it's going to last you a little while. If you're pale, it's a blush topper. If you're deep, it's a highlight. It's an all-round gorgeous product, which is much easier to work with than the old ones. At number 3, there is the Tarte Shape Tape. Now, I get why everyone raves about this. It is very full coverage, it's very easy to blend, it's an all-round good product. I would probably still use a colour corrector on the dark circles. I feel like I need just that slightly peachier tone to correct before I conceal. But it was great for concealing redness, and you know, it's just a really good quality product that I feel like has a good shade range and most people will be able to use it. Only thing I would say is that it's slightly drying, so if you're like me, you have dry under eyes, use a cream, use a little facial oil, something underneath so that, you know, it doesn't dry out your skin. Also, one more thing, I think the applicator is too big. It's massive. It's the biggest doe foot applicator I've ever seen and it dispenses too much product. It's a very intense product, you don't need a lot of it, and really it could do with a smaller applicator so that you can just apply it where you need it in sparing amounts. At number 4 is the Rimmel Fix and Matte Powder. I think this is going to become one of my new favourite powders. It's very much like a translucent loose powder, but in a pressed form. It doesn't have any pigment, it's very fine, you can use it to set under the eyes. You know, this is good quality, and it's Rimmel, so it's not expensive. It's got much, you know, more slim packaging than a loose translucent powder. It's much easier to travel with, takes up less space. Definitely going in the everyday pile for me, definitely. At number 5, still a product that I think is great. We're not down to the products yet, we're still in the very good products. This is the Gosh Waterproof Lip Liner in Antique Rose. Now this is creamy, it's pigmented, it's easy to apply, it's a gorgeous colour, it's waterproof if you rub the lip liner and the liquid lipstick. The liquid lipstick was dried down, but it still managed to smudge and rub away, whereas the liner was absolutely budge proof. I haven't touched up my lips, you can see that whilst the liquid lipstick has worn away, the lip liner is still mostly intact despite the fact that I've been eating, drinking. It's been 7-8 hours that I've had this lip liner on and it is still doing good. I mean, for the quality, I would expect this product to be more expensive. It's great and it's only $4.99 on the Superdrug website, so really go for it. They have other shades. I'm probably going to pick up a few more myself. Gorgeous. Number 6, the Touch in Sol Foil and Glitter Shadow Duos. I have one of them on my eyes today. This is shade 1. Shade 5 I think is actually better. Now the cream shadow on this shade 1, this coppery one, is a little bit patchy. Still gorgeous, but a little bit patchy, and you can't really build up this product. If you try and build it up, you end up rubbing it off, if you see what I mean. But number 5 is completely opaque. Number 5, no problem whatsoever. The glitter is messy. It's difficult to apply. I found that today, tapping the glitter onto the back of my hand and then sort of putting my finger in it and patting it on top rather than using the plastic applicator was a much easier way to do it. I mean, it's still a bit of a faff, you still have to put in the effort, but I didn't get so much glitter everywhere like I did the other day, and it stayed in place better than it did the other day, although there is still some fallout. I might in the future mix in a little glitter glue before applying the glitter on top of the cream shadow just to really fix it there, because this is the kind of thing that I'm going to want to wear to go to a club or a big party, something like that, where I'm going to be dancing, I'm going to be sweating, so I probably need a little something extra just to keep it fixed on the lids and make sure I don't have sort of a glittery situation going on underneath the eyes. But really, only a little bit of fallout considering, you know, I'm using loose glitter. So really nice product, definitely recommend it. Little bit of a faff, but really good for a night out. Right, we're down to number 7, so we're entering the good but not my fave kind of region here, and at number 7 we've got the Rimmel setting spray. Now the pros about this: it's affordable because it's Rimmel, it's got an excellent mister, it has a really good mister. I think once I've used the product out of the setting spray, I'm going to be taking other setting spray formulas that I like more and putting them in this bottle so that I can keep using this mister because it's a great mister. This product really could be very good or depending on what you're looking for. Now for me, I like a setting spray that gives a dewy finish, like the NYX dewy setting spray. I really like that. Mister isn't as good, but I really like the formula of the product. Now this setting spray has helped keep things in place, and it did take away powderiness, but it doesn't give, you know, a glowy dewy finish. It is quite a simple set it, pretty matte, nothing glistening or glowing. So it's not my favourite formula, but if you are sort of more on the oily side and you're just looking for a setting spray that's going to help stick things in place and you're not looking for a dewy finish, go out and buy this. It's probably going to be a really good product for you. And yeah, it's Rimmel, it's affordable. Number 8. Again, an okay but not fabulous product, the Body Shop Brush on Radiance. Now I do like the colour and the effect of this product. It gives a lovely sort of neutral champagne-y glow with the mixture of those different shades. It's a natural kind of a glow. It's not pow, you know. For an evening out, for a special event, I like something with a little bit more oomph. This, you know, it's a Body Shop. It's natural makeup, and you know, it is a very pretty product. It's a pretty product for every day. But you know, the Body Shop, it's not the cheapest. It's not, you know, drugstore level like Rimmel. It is a little bit more expensive, not high end, but a little bit more expensive. And I think I have, you know, I have highlighters which I like more, which were cheaper. Number 9, down into the not a big fan kind of area. It is this Rimmel liquid lipstick. Now again, Rimmel, it's affordable, and that's always going to be, you know, a little tick in the plus column. But personally, I don't feel like this lipstick is, you know, it's not the best. It was a little bit patchy. That might just be the shade. There might be other shades where that is not an issue, but it was a little patchy. And because it was patchy, I had to sort of layer it up. And because I layered it up, I had more product, and it kind of caked up and then went weird and like crumbly and like lumpy in like the corners of my mouth when I started eating and drinking. So I had to like wipe it off here because it was just so gross. And then throughout the rest of the day, the sort of general middle lip area is worn off, and all is left really is the liner that I put on. So I'm not a big fan, There may be other shades that are better. If you have a shade of this product that really works well, let me know below. But I have to say I prefer my Gosh liquid lipsticks, and I will use one of those in a one brand tutorial. Number 10, again, not a product I'm a big fan of, is the Tarte bronzer. Now, on the plus side, the formula is really lovely. It's very smooth, creamy kind of powder, but it's too warm for my tastes. it's a little bit on the darker side for me. I had to be careful when I was applying it. And although it did give a nice bronzed effect when I did get it on the face, it was too warm. It was a bit warm for my complexion. So really this is just a personal thing. It's not the formula. The formula is lovely. It's just that for me, it's on the warm side. It's not a bronzer that you could do a little bit of contouring with. You would definitely need a separate contouring product if you buy this bronzer. 11, getting down to the bottom now, the Tarte gold highlighter that I had from that duo. When I swatched it, I thought, oh, this is gorgeous. It's such a lovely gold. It's probably going to be a little dark for me personally, but I thought this is such a lovely colour. It might look good on slightly deeper skin tones. But then when I applied it, I thought, oh, okay, this isn't too dark for me. And then as I was applying, I was like, well, why isn't it too dark? When I swatch it, it's way too dark. It's like, okay, well, the pigment, I'm just losing the pigmentation. Once you try and apply it with a brush, it doesn't show up like that swatch at all. The pigmentation for me is really just not there. I had to apply a lot of it, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I was expecting it to be too dark, and then it wasn't, and it was because the pigmentation was lacking. And you know, Tarte is not a cheap brand, and you know, there are great highlighters out there that are really, really affordable. So I mean, I'll do a video on my favourite drugstore highlighters. For me, this one just was a little disappointing. Number 12, the penultimate item, almost right down at the bottom, it is the Rue Kwave foundation. Now, this foundation was thick. It was a thick formula. And personally, I prefer something a little lighter, a little more watery, so that I get a little bit of pigmentation, but I don't get loads of like cakiness on my face. I don't want to be sticky. Even though I have dry skin, I don't want something that is really creamy most of the time. I mean, I will use this in winter probably, you know, on a sort of everyday, just slap a bit on and go kind of makeup, but it's not going to be something I'm reaching for a lot. Really, for something, if something is thick, I'm expecting coverage. Like, the only way I would choose a thicker formula over a lighter formula would really be if that thicker formula was giving me more coverage. And this one just isn't. So I don't recommend it. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it again. It's nothing special really. It's just That's pretty much how I feel about it. And finally, right at the bottom of the pile is the primer. Now, again, thick. It's a thick product. And okay, yeah, I get the whole violet to cancel out yellow type of thing. If the product actually has plenty of violet pigment, now this, you pump it out, it looks violet, but when you rub it onto your face, I just thought it made me look white. Like, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something just violet to sort of take away slightly the sort of sallowness of my skin. But what I got was, it felt like I'd put on like thick titanium sunscreen, basically. That was the look I got, just kind of white, like a ghost. And once I put my foundation on top, because the foundation wasn't that pigmented, I felt like the white was still showing through, and then my face was just lighter than the rest of my body, and it was weird. And today, because due to my camera issues, today is a whole different day, and I did the whole thing over again, putting all the same products on, but I only put primer on this side of my face today so that I could see if things wore differently. And honestly, there isn't any difference. The foundation hasn't stayed better on this side of my face. So, I mean, what is it doing for me? Making me look like a ghost and not making my foundation last any longer. That's just a fail of a primer, in my opinion. There is no point in using that product. And, I mean, I've got it. It's going to sit there in my pile. I don't know when I'm going to use it again because it was pointless. That's it. Long video, I know, sorry about that, but I wanted to do things thoroughly. I hope this was useful, I hope you enjoyed it. Please watch some more videos on my channel, that would really help me out. If you enjoyed it, please like, please subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye guys!